Hi, welcome to my temperature blankets month wrap up. I don't know what to call it. I'm here to summarize what I did with my temperature blanket this month and basically just tell you the temperatures and the colors that I used. That's basically what I'm doing. I don't know how else I would do it though, so I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. So I chained a long stream of chains to be the blanket, and as you can see, I couldn't show off the whole blanket without it folding at the ends. You can see me trying it on, making sure that when I wrap it around myself, it overlaps, so it's really nicely oversized. I tried standing on my bed to better show you how big it was, but I still couldn't really show you, so I put it on the ground, and yeah, that's how big it is. Oh yeah, I put markers on it to help me count when I did the chaining. January 1st had a highest of 29 and a lowest of 15, so I used yellow and blue. January 2nd had a highest of 33 and a lowest of 15, so I used orange and blue. January 3rd had a highest of 34 and a lowest of 16, so I used orange and blue. January 4th had the highest of 35 and a lowest of 17, so I used orange and blue. January 5th had a highest of 37, a lowest of 20, so I used orange and green. January 6th had a highest of 31 and a lowest of 18, so I used yellow and blue. January 7th had a highest of 26 and a lowest of 13, so I used yellow and purple. January 8th had a highest of 29 and a lowest of 16, so I used yellow and blue. January 9th had a highest of 37 and a lowest of 17, so I used orange and blue. January 10th had a highest of 34 and a lowest of 20, so I used orange and green. January 11th had a highest of 27 and lowest of 18, so I used yellow and blue. January 12th had a highest of 31 and a lowest of 16, so I used yellow and blue. January 13th had a highest of 29 and a lowest of 17, so I used yellow and blue. January 14th had a highest of 31 and a lowest of 14, so I used yellow and blue. January 15th had a highest of 33 and a lowest of 16, so I used orange and blue. January 16th had a highest of 25 and a lowest of 16, so I used green and blue. The only green that I used in the highest section, by the way. January 17th had a highest of 29 and a lowest of 13, so I used yellow and purple. January 18th had a highest of 31 and a lowest of 14, so I used yellow and blue. January 19th had a highest of 34 and a lowest of 17, so I used orange and blue. January 20th had a highest of 36 and a lowest of 20, so I used orange and green. January 21st had a highest of 38 and a lowest of 24, so I used pink, which was the only time I used pink this month, and green. January 22nd had a highest of 33 and a lowest of 22, so I used orange and green. January 23rd had a highest of 34 and a lowest of 19, so I used orange and blue. January 24th had a highest of 32 and a lowest of 19, so I used orange and blue. January 25th had a highest of 32 and a lowest of 18, so I used orange and blue. January 26th had a highest of 32 and a lowest of 17, so I used orange and blue. January 27th had a highest of 28 and a lowest of 17, so I used yellow and blue. January 28th had a highest of 31 and a lowest of 16, so I used yellow and blue. January 29th had a highest of 36 and a lowest of 18, so I used orange and blue. January 30th had a highest of 37 and a lowest of 24, so I used orange and green. January 31st had a highest of 33 and a lowest of 22, so I used orange and green. I would quickly like to say that I tried to crochet all the rows for that week on the weekend on a Sunday or something, like all in one day, like 7 rows, but it was a lot, and I did it for the first one. It took so long, and I was like, nah, this is not working. So what I did was, in the afternoon, like before bed, when it's like my time to like wind down, I just crocheted that day's row. But if I was busy, then I'll just crochet that row the next day with the other day's row, which was a lot more manageable than 7 rows in one day. Thank you for watching. I hope you like how my blanket is looking so far, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!